tonight on Connecticut's news station. 3 children and 3 adults dead after an elementary school shooting in Nashville.
They heard shots coming from the second level. They immediately went to the gunfire.
What officials are saying about the alleged shooter.
And allegations against a former police chief.
Well, there is an investigation going on, and we are addressing it.
Is that person still employed and involved in that?
Yes, he is.
What a new report is saying about violations at the department.
A rainy night ahead, so what does this mean heading into Tuesday? Your forecast coming up.
Plus, at the Capitol, barring insurrectionists from holding office. An apology that goes back 4 centuries to women accused of witchcraft.
How young is too young to get married? We're breaking down all of these legislative discussions.
Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us here on the Fox 61 News at 6 tonight. I'm Ben Goldman.
And I'm Jen Bernstein. We are following breaking news tonight out of Tennessee. 3 children, all ages 9, and 3 adults, all in their 60s, dead after a shooter opened fire inside of a Nashville elementary school.
One of those adults, the head of the school. Police saying the shooter, 28-year-old Audrey Hale, is also dead tonight. Police believe she was a former student. The incident happening at the Covenant School, a Presbyterian school for about 200 students from preschool through 6th grade. Police say the shooter was heavily armed, had 2 assault-style rifles and a pistol.
She entered the school through a side entrance and traversed her way from the first floor to the second floor, firing multiple shots. The officers had engaged the shooter by 10:27, and she was deceased.
Tonight, a reunification site is set up with mental health specialists and professionals for the families and students. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden reacting to the shooting while speaking at the National League of Cities this afternoon, saying change is needed.
I am truly without words, and our children deserve better.
The Biden administration has been in contact with the Justice Department and local officials about the investigation. New tonight, the Newtown Action Alliance is releasing a statement reading in part, quote, "Enough is enough." The time is now for Congress to vote and pass the ban and deliver it to President Biden's desk rather than continuing to arm future school shooters with assault weapons. More than 10 years after the school shooting at Sandy Hook here in Connecticut, senators have been pushing for additional federal gun legislation, including an assault weapons ban, rather. As of now, Nashville police are still working to figure out the shooter's motive. We'll keep you updated as we learn more about it.
All right, time now for a check on the weather. A warm day out there, but we do have some rain on the way.
Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now. Hi, Rich.
Hi. Yeah, we got some rain that's starting to fill in. It's mostly light out there, but you'll see there's a lot more where that came from, and snow to the north, but temperatures are just too warm for that here for us in Connecticut. Starting to see some reports of light rain begin to reach the ground in the Hartford area, for Bridgeport, and also for Waterbury. In some cases, especially in the eastern half of the state, it's showing rain, but it's actually virga, so rain falling from the clouds but evaporating before it reaches the ground. Right now 54 in the Hartford area, close to 50 along the Connecticut shoreline, but notice as we head through the evening tonight that rain continues to fill in across the state, so it's damp to wet out there. After midnight there's a little bit of a break in the action, and then we'll see a few additional scattered showers as we head into the day tomorrow. There's a slight chance there could be a couple of wet snowflakes in the hills, but we're not expecting any impact or accumulation out of that if it does end up happening, with temperatures that will stay above freezing. We're going to start the day off with temperatures close to 40 degrees tomorrow. A few lingering scattered showers possible. If we do end up seeing any, they'll be light. Otherwise, some late day clearing possible, but it might be just before the sun ends up going down. Highs around the 50-degree mark, so certainly cooler than today. We'll time out some additional rain chances, maybe even some snow showers later this week coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. New tonight to New Haven, where 6 people are listed on a federal indictment accusing them of being involved or being associated with a gang allegedly connected to 2 murders and 10 attempted murders since 2018. Fox 61's New Haven County Bureau reporter Julia LeBlanc joining us now live from the New Haven Police Department with details surrounding this. Julia.
Hi, Ben. Good evening to you. Now, New Haven police say that this alleged gang has been around here since the early 2000s, and they call themselves Exit 8. Now, police say that they're one of the most dangerous groups in the area, and they do hope this indictment sends them a message.
I and my law enforcement partners behind me would rather not be here today.
Local, state, and federal law enforcement officials announcing a major bust where they've arrested and charged 6 members of an alleged gang.
Gun violence will not be tolerated.
Federal officials say the 6 men have been charged with racketeering conspiracy, including drug trafficking, murder, and attempted murder. They're part of a group called Exit 8. Police say the gang uses that name since they cover the area right off the I-91 exit. Newer, younger members also go by Honcho, named after a former member killed by a rival gang on Quinnipiac Ave in 2020.
And then they carried that torch, unfortunately the torch of violence.
Chief Carl Jacobson knows many of the men well, especially 24-year-old Donald Alec Jr.
It's just compelling to be here 10 years later after meeting him at his father's home when we solved his father's murder.
After his dad was killed by rival gang members, the chief says Alec Jr. chose the wrong path, but police intercepted, connecting with him and other members of Exit 8 through a program called Project Longevity, which works with people at risk of becoming shooters or getting shot.
The message is, see, we told you, don't pick up the guns, but it's also a message of you don't have to do this.
Unfortunately, Jacobson says Alec Jr. never accepted their help, and it ended like this.
That to me is like we failed that first part, right? But to protect the city, we have to engage with the second part and charge them federally.
Now, we do want to mention, it is important to mention that these are all allegations at this point. However, if convicted, at least 2 of the men could be facing a maximum of 60 years in prison, and the other 4 could be facing 20 years or even more than that. In the meantime, this is a very ongoing investigation, and police say that there could be more charges. We're live here in New Haven tonight. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Julia, thank you very much. On the Fox 61 News at 5, we spotlighted some really shocking discoveries revealed in a study into the Wethersfield Police Department. But Fox 61's Matt Caron discovered that there are other serious investigations not included in that study. He joins us live from the Wethersfield Police Department with more. So, Matt, tell us what you found.
Well, this study that you're talking about is 38 pages, and it was performed by the Daigle Law Group. It looks back to 2017, and what it found, among many other things, was the alleged misuse of taxpayer dollars. But what is listed in that study we discovered today is not the only example of that.
This is the hand I was dealt.
This 38-page study into the internal investigation process of the Wethersfield Police Department
There's a lot of work that needs to be done here.
describes a culture of fear under the administration of former police chief James Citran, where 2 core cliques existed: those who swore blind loyalty to then Chief Citran and those who didn't do what he wanted. The study finding the internal affairs process was weaponized. 85% reported disciplinary actions were applied unfairly.
It was a pretty eye-opening report.
Among the most shocking discoveries, potential misuse of taxpayer dollars, involving a sergeant accused of going home while he was supposed to be on patrol. He overstayed at his house 172 times.
There is an investigation going on, and we are addressing it.
Is that person still employed who's involved in that?
Yes, he is.
But Fox 61 discovered that wasn't the only example. An investigation not listed in the report is also underway into the alleged overpayment of former interim chief of police Donald Crabtree, whose salary, allegedly approved by former town manager Gary Evans, reportedly never dropped back down to the lieutenant level once Chief Citran decided to unretire.
What's being done about that? Is that Chief Citran's fault too?
We asked Chief Medina.
That's an ongoing issue that was brought to my attention just recently, and there's an active investigation, so that's all I really can say on that.
At the police level, or?
Yes, at the police level right now.
Wethersfield's mayor, Mike Rell, told Fox 61 he didn't know if there is currently an effort ongoing to recover any taxpayer dollars.
If this had occurred, you know, it's unfortunate that it did, but now knowing that it did, we will definitely be looking into it.
Meanwhile, Rachel Baird, the attorney for former Chief James Citran, calls the Daigle Law Group study slanderous.
I don't even know if anybody actually made these comments, but if they did, and they allowed their comments to go in here unattributed, they're cowards.
Former Police Chief James Citran was fired by the town council in 2021. He's filed lawsuits which are still pending in an effort to be reinstated.
Chief Medina is not there lawfully. He's not the real chief. He's an imposter, is what he is.
Now, I did speak on the phone earlier today with former Police Chief Citran, who called this study ridiculous, saying that he was never interviewed about it or for it. Meanwhile, Chief Medina told me today that he has no reason to disparage Chief Citran, saying that he just wants to move on and will be working over the next 18 months to completely overhaul the policies and procedures here at the Wethersfield Police Department. We're live in Wethersfield. Matt Karen, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Matt, thank you. Well, we are following breaking details tonight out of Hartford after a heavy police presence was spotted outside of the federal courthouse on Main Street. Police just telling us that an unknown substance was found in an envelope inside of the building. They say it was, though, tested by DEEP and found to be non-toxic. A section of the federal building was evacuated, but it has since reopened. Police say the substance will be further tested to determine what exactly it is.
In other news, as several more committees come up against a deadline this legislative session, more debates and votes on what could be new Connecticut laws. Let's go over some of the major proposals worked on today. How young is too young to be married? It's something that lawmakers on the Judiciary Committee have been debating, as there's a push to raise the legal age to marry here in Connecticut to 18 years old with no exceptions. Right now, if you're 16 or older, you can get married with the approval of a parent and a judge. That law was passed in 2017, and the state says since then, 29 minors have been married here. The concern is that it's giving leeway that allows more coerced marriages, arranged marriages, and trafficking. But a large part of the committee gave a lot of pushback.
Even if there's a pregnancy involved, they can't get married. We're creating, sorry for my language, a statutory set of bastards. We've got children being born out of wedlock because it's prohibited.
I think it's a really important issue. I have no interest in people under the age of 18 marrying.
And on to another judiciary proposal here. More than 350 years later, some lawmakers have been looking to make amends with history and exonerate 17th century witches. 15 people were accused of witchcraft and hung here in Connecticut back then. The proposal would make these moments recognized as false accusations, but wouldn't be a legal exoneration. Some lawmakers calling it a generational pain, others saying it's unnecessary, even claiming that they want to, quote, examine the evidence before passing this bill. And an update, the annual bear hunt will not be happening here in Connecticut, for now at least. After a record year of bear sightings and home break-ins in Connecticut, lawmakers looked into a lottery that would allow a limited annual bear hunt in Litchfield County. Right now, Connecticut and Rhode Island are the only New England states that ban bear hunting. But the committee moved the bill forward and dropped the controversial hunting piece of that bill. Again, right now, most of these proposals are being worked on, debated, and revised so that they can be moved forward to the General Assembly or be dropped this session. As the committee deadline continues to pass and we get a glimpse in what has legs this legislative session and what doesn't have legs, we'll keep breaking it down for you right here on air, online, and on the Fox 61 News app. Jen.